camera. Park it. Where's the smoke? There's supposed to be smoke.
A second, Chief.
Too soon! Too soon! You shouldn't be jumping yet. It ain't in the script. Cut! 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 Turner, you idiot! Why did you jump so soon?
Well, I figured it'd be more comfortable to arrive on the Earth in one big piece, rather than a whole lot of little ones.
Do you know what this shot was worth?
Yeah? More than me, apparently.
You're just a stunt jockey, Turner. You're replaceable.
Well, then I guess you just better replace me.
Now listen, Turner, don't be like that. What I meant to say was, you're a damn good stunt jockey, Turner. The best.
They say the prize money, 10,000 Australian pounds, is around 50,000 American dollars. It's not bad.
Well, it's not bad, except when you consider the plane, the fuel, and all that other stuff. Now, that sum is sort of a spit in the bucket. I'm getting too old for this sort of thing, huh?
Ha! Roscoe, you'll never be too old for an air race or any other piece of action that keeps you flying and keeps your name in the papers.
I know. You see, it's the other way around, kid. My name in the papers keeps me flying. You know how long I've been up there? 20 years next spring. And that's old, kid. And for what? Movies!
You could always go back to lion taming. Circus would be glad to have Colonel Roscoe Turner back on the marquee.
Yeah. Gilmore's old Ma and I, we used to be quite a team, huh? Let's go get some coffee.
London to Melbourne. This will be the biggest and most important air race in the history of aviation, good fellow. And Sir Macpherson Robertson isn't offering a first prize of £10,000 merely to celebrate the centenary of the state of Victoria. He hopes, you see, as we all do, that a British plane will take out the honours. Two British planes, if we can manage it. One in the speed and one in the handicap section. That makes 53 entries so far. And more to come, no doubt. Well, some will drop out. Some are sheer fantasy. But...
Are you worried about the Americans, sir?
very much so. You know, compared to the Americans, British aircraft design has scarcely moved since the war. Well, one or two halfway decent planes, I suppose, but well, compared to the Douglases and the Lockheeds and what have you, well, we could end up looking rather silly.
It is an international race, sir.
But of course. What's the point of winning if all the good chaps are excluded?
So what about you, Clyde? You get yourself an airplane for this race?
Yep. I put in an order for a Granville, GB Racing.
A GB? Uh-huh. So you figure you're gonna make it all the way to Melbourne, Australia?
They modified the GB since you flew her.
Well, I hope so, for your sake. Hi, Lily. Huh. Did you hear about this new plane Douglas has got out? It's a DC-2. That's a kind of long-range aircraft you should be looking at.
Me? You mean?
Me?
You're going in this air race, aren't you, Roscoe?
kid. What the hell else can I do? Somebody's got to show them.
We must build a new plane.
Really?
Yes. I've discussed it with my chaps and my board.
And?
Not very enthusiastic, I'm afraid.
Oh, dear, I see. No chance of adapting an existing model like the Dragon?
No, not really. Need more range, more speed. No, it's a new plane from scratch or nothing. You see, what's required is the fastest aeroplane ever built. Designed, manufactured, and tested in the fastest time on record, and then flown in the fastest race ever flown.
Exactly. All the same, look, we've drawn up the race rules.
Oh, yes?
And you have the advantage of designing a plane.
To fit those rules.
And then I would imagine some Air Force interest in a design that won an event of this type.
Well, actually, we've been doing some work on a new engine, the Gypsy 6. Quite a good showing on bench tests.
Sounds very promising. And what about your board?
I'll talk 'em round. Britain must win, Perrin. Simple as that.
Come on, darling. Charles Scott, trust you, darling.
Diana, sorry, old thing, couldn't get a cab.
Countess Strockerton, Charles Scott.
Delighted. Absolutely charming.
Lord and Lady Rothmere, Charles.
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do, sir? How do you do, sir?
And Florence Desmond, Charles Scott.
Miss Desmond, I say.
Come on, darlings, let's have a look.
I caught your new show at the Lyceum just the other evening. Thought you were splendid, if I may say so.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Very kind.
Sorry. Expect you get rather bored hearing how splendid you are.
At times. Don't you?
Heavens, no, not at all. Love every moment of it.
I suppose you simply must be going in this air race to Australia everyone's talking about.
Well, perhaps. Thinking about it.
Can't imagine you not, Charles. Anyway, isn't it exciting about Jim and Amy Mollison? Finally got away on their London to New York flight.
Oh, yes. Well, then let's hope and pray they arrive safely.
Oh?
Oh, yes. Every flower I know has come down sometime or another.
Including you, Charles?
With appalling regularity, I'm afraid.
Dickie. Man tries man downwind. Damn fool in this weather.
Couldn't hear no engine. Must have been out of gas.
Amy Johnson? The Amy Johnson? Is she...
Oh, please.
I'd like to buy new car. Put that tape off. Lars, ought to be alone.
Pipe down, will you?
Careful! Is he alive?
Just now.
We could have made Boston, Jim, while it was still light.
Take it easy, Mrs. Mollison.
We announced New York non-stop, my dear. Funny, isn't it? I fly the bloody Atlantic countless times. When I'm with you, we crash. I need a drink.
Miss Johnson, how about a smile?
Where did she run out of gas?
Well, how about you, Mr. Johnson? Will you be making another attempt soon?
How about lose the plane smashed up, Amy?
Would it be fair to say that your injuries are only superficial, sir?
We need a story. Come on.
Does this mean you won't be going in the air race to Australia?
Get out of here, rabble!
Lord, for God's sake, just leave me alone!
Good afternoon, Captain Parmentier.
Dr. Plessman wishes to see me.
It's about this air race.
Really? But Captain Mole is flying for a KLM, isn't he?
You may go in now, Captain.
You will have noticed, of course, Parmentier, that apart from the Batavia-Melbourne leg, this race is almost precisely our KLM route. Sit down, for God's sake. Which is why you will have Captain Mole as your co-pilot for the race.
Yes, sir.
Now, there will be all kinds of foolishness. Toy planes flown by madmen and adventurers. But our concern is to demonstrate to the world that air travel, with KLM, naturally, is safe and completely reliable. You understand?
Yes, Doctor.
Good. Now...
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes, what?
If KLM wishes to win this race...
No, not win, Parmentier. That is not the object.
All the same, a plane like the new Douglas would ensure that KLM would have a good chance.
Exactly. I am ahead of you.
As always, sir.
We shall see if this DC-2 is as good as you say it is. Yes, the design is functional. And yet, in its way, it is quite... This is the future, Parmentier. With a plane like this...
With a plane like this, I could even win this race.
KLM wins the race, Parmentier. KLM!
I hear Jackie Cochran's also interested in a GB.
For the race? Spunky kid.
Well, there you go, boy.
I'd be one worried man if I had to land after Jackie Cochran in a GB. Thank you.
How's that?
Runway more than likely be covered with wreckage.
And the complete instrumentation. Dual controls.
Yes. You enjoy yourself here, my dear fellow. I'll inspect the passenger comforts.
Afternoon, sir.
Gentlemen.
Turner. Colonel Roscoe Turner. This is my associate, Mr. Clyde Pangborn.
Parmentier, Royal Dutch Airlines. Pleasure. And an honor, gentlemen. I've heard of you both, of course.
Well, that's mighty handsome of you, sir. So, Royal Dutch Airlines is interested in the Douglas, huh?
More than interested. KLM will be entering a Douglas in the air race. Now, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, Colonel, Mr. Pangborn.
So we're flying against an airline. Some interesting race.
I think I'm gonna go look at a Boeing.
Huh? You entered a Douglas.
Well, Roscoe Turner's not gonna enter any air race in the same plane as a damned airline. No percentage in that. Hey, you look pretty good in that seat, kid.
You're just not gonna let up, are you?
Oh, why risk your life in a GB when you could be Roscoe Turner's co-pilot? And navigator, huh?
Okay, Roscoe. Deal.
Deal.
Too fast. Still too bloody fast.
Nice landing, mate. What bright spark put that there? Me. You off your head. You're trying to kill me.
No! I'm trying to save the bloody plane in your neck, you stupid galah, because you always coming too bloody fast.
Oh, I do I?
Yes, you do, and one of these days I reckon you're going to end up in the trees.
You reckon, do you?
Yeah, I reckon, so I gave you some incentive to hit the brakes, just in case.
You're a real mate, Ray.
Yes. Located. So, how'd you get on?
Don't know if I'm going to tell you now.
Oh, come on, Jeff, be your age. Now, what happened?
I sent the entry form off.
And?
Some of the blokes said they'd chip in when they heard it was you.
Well, that figures.
God only knows how we're going to raise 7,000 quid.
That was for the Lockheed. There's an advert here. Air Force disposal job, brand new, never been flown.
Go on, how much?
200 quid.
Show us. Oh, yeah. I got rid of these a few years ago. I got the speed, though.
And long-range fuel tank.
Yeah. Hang on. This is in England. We won't be able to see it till after we bought it.
So?
Goodbye, Margaret.
It's Marcia, darling.
Marcia. Sorry, Pet. Quick now.
Welcome back, Mrs. Mollison.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards.
Say, I thought we'd lost you to the United States.
Oh, no. Just having a bit of a rest. Bit of a holiday. Is Mr. Mollison in?
Mr. Mollison's in. I've put you in suite 12 this time.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Edwards.
I must say it's a great pleasure to have you back at Grosvenor House.
Jim? Jim?
Darling, you're here. Well, well.
How do I look?
You look like a bloody film star.
You like me in black, don't you?
Oh, yes, Johnny. Very soigné.
I'm awfully pleased to see you, Jim.
Me too, Amy. No one to fight with when you're not here.
Oh, don't say that. Didn't we have enough fighting in America?
All right. Come and give me a kiss. You miss me?
Not at first.
Yes. Why did you get in the bath with me?
Do you think I should?
Oh, definitely. Just what you need. No. Leave your hat on.
Jackie, what's the hurry?
I want to see this plane, Wes.
Yeah, but why's it got to be this one?
I hear she's the fastest in the whole United States. Oh, the place looks closed up.
Told you it's gone bust. Says who?
Mr. Granville?
Maybe.
I'm Jacqueline Cochran. This is Wesley Smith.
I guess you can't be from the bank driving an automobile like that. You the lady that called me from New York to see my new GB?
That's right, Mr. Granville.
Haven't I seen you somewhere? Magazine?
May I look at the plane, please, sir? You do have a plane for sale, don't you?
She's in a hurry, ain't she?
Yeah, most of the time.
Well, there she is, honey. Now, that's an airplane. You want fast, she's fast.
I want fast, Mr. Granville. You hear about this race to Melbourne, Australia?
Yep. In fact, I had a buyer for this here aircraft from that very same race from Mr. Clive Pangborn from California. But he canceled out. I guess he lost his nerve.
Yeah, lost his nerve. What's the plane's glide performance like, Granville?
About like that. I don't make gliders, mister. I make flyers.
Oh, yeah? Well, what if you lose the engine?
You jump out.
Can I take her up?
Well, not today, honey. There's a bit more work has to be done on it. My boys aren't here, you know.
Okay. Okay. I'll take her.
Jackie, you gotta test her. Can't fly her across half the
Weston,
world.
test her in England. Mr. Granville, you do what you have to do, then crate her up, and we'll ship her to England. You'll take a check?
Well, honey, I'd prefer cash. Kind of keep the banks out of it, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Jackie, I don't know. That plane's a death trap.
Wes.
Oh, yeah, okay, but I'm not even convinced I can keep that plane right side up.
So we fly her upside down. If I'm going in this race, Wes, I'm going to be the first and fastest across the line. You got it?
But, Jimbo, there's more to flying than breaking records and winning races.
Listen, Johnny, we made a mess of the last one. Got a lot of sympathy and not much else. Besides, I've entered us.
Jim?
Well, it could put us back on top. Do you imagine Charlie Scott passing up an opportunity like this?
But we can't compete in my little plane, so what have we got?
I've had to sell your little plane, I'm afraid, to pay the deposit on one of those new planes from de Havilland.
A Comet?
That's it. We're in, darling. Come on.
Well, you might have told me.
I just have.
By gum, here we go again in plane. Up, up and away. It's a tough life being Amy Johnson.
We are a happy band of chaps. We clutter up the skies. Maybe crazy, but true. We buzz about from place to place like maddened butterflies. It's speed we pursue. But if you break the record, China to Peru, everyone in town will soon be talking about you. Glory, oh fame and glory, your name and story, no stunts to boo. Tell of your exploits in each newspaper, how you were rotten sick on petrol vapor. Glory, oh fame and glory, cash in on the ballyhoo. Cloth cap or
Oh, God, can we go?
it's never boring, glory, and heaps of money in it, too.
I'm sorry, Johnny. That was dreadful. I had no idea it would upset you.
Amy Johnson, Amy Johnson. I hate it, Jim. I hate her. Who is this famous Amy Johnson? She's not me.
Listen, it's just a game we play. Learn to treat it as such. Look, Johnny, it's our bread and butter. No fame, no fortune. You heard the song.
I've never really sounded like that, have I?
Of course you haven't.
You will tell me if I slip up, won't you?
That's the spirit.
Glory, oh fame and glory, your name and story, no stunts to boo. Tell of your exploits in each newspaper, how you were rotten sick on petrol vapor. Glory, oh fame and glory, cash in on the ballyhoo. Cloth cap or Tory, it's never boring, glory, and heaps of money in it too.
Oh, Mr. Campbell Black, how are you?
Good evening, Miss Desmond. I hope you don't mind my coming backstage.
Not at all. But aren't you getting awfully sick of our show?
No, no, Lord, no. I enjoy it enormously. Every time. And you are marvelous, of course. Quite delightful. You always are. Very, very amusing. Very... I bought these for you. They're for you.
Thanks.
Would you mind terribly if I put them over here? You see, I have an engagement tonight.
You have an engagement? Oh. Because you see, I thought, well, that is, I hoped that you might join me for some supper. But perhaps another time.
Yes, another time. But now, I really must go.
Of course, don't let me. Perhaps I could telephone you.
Yes, do that. Night, darling.
Night, Miss Desmond.
When are you heading back?
Back?
To Africa?
Oh, Africa. Well, not immediately. Other plans, you know. Oh, Tessie, you're so lovely.
Campbell.
I'm sorry. It just came out. It's how one feels. Sorry.
You're very sweet. Roger, darling, have I kept you waiting and waiting?
No, my RAF stint was rather brief, to be perfectly honest. They threw me out. Court-martialed 3 times. What was it for? Let me see. Hazarding aircraft.
Gin, please. Hello, Black.
Flying
Do you know Charles Scott?
Absent without...
No, heard about him, of course.
The man's a rogue. A damn fine flyer. You know the England-Australia record in 31?
Of course. And then 2 hours off Mollison's time in 32.
Right. I say, Scott.
Excuse me, James.
I thought you'd like to meet Tom Campbell Black.
Yes, good to meet you, Black. 3 times Mansfield Robinson Trophy, am I right?
Oh, that. There's nothing to it. Do it on your ear.
Campbell Black's not a man who blows his own trumpet, Scott.
So I see.
Buy you a drink?
Thank you.
I'm surprised you haven't entered this London-Melbourne race.
Yes. Well, let's see.
Oh, blast. Excuse me, you chaps.
Whiskey?
Thank you.
2 whiskeys. So you're not entering this race?
No. Can't get a plane, old man. Bit short already. Well, one could get a plane, but what's the point of that?
It's quite.
Ah, you're in much the same sort of boat.
Yes, much the same. Looking about, of course.
Bloody unfair, isn't it, really? I mean, if you and I could get a decent sort of plane, we'd stand a damn good chance, don't you think?
We?
Yes, we. Look, let's not stand on ceremony, Black. I've heard you're jolly good. You're a decent sort of chap. Everyone says so. What about you and me?
Really? Seriously?
Absolutely. Why not?
We've only just met 5 seconds ago.
Never mind that. I have an instinct for these things. Oh, what do you say? You and me.
Well, if you think so, Scott.
I do, old man, I do.
Well, then I'm with you. All the way.
Good fellow. Good fellow.
This here race is from London to Melbourne, and Jeff and me are in it. And I reckon we got half a chance. For us and for Australia.
Yeah, we're looking for investors to form a sort of a flight syndicate to back us.
Look, we're hoping that you blokes...
Didn't you do something like this back in 1920?
Ray's having another crack at it, Stan. Trying to better his time.
Yeah, what was that?
7 months, matter of fact.
7 months?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, well.
fair enough. Well, nuggets do?
Nuggets, cash, checks, anything you can spare, gentlemen. Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot, son.
On your cobber.
You're all hard. Thanks, fellas. Hey, you watch out for us.
Keep an eye on the newspapers.
How we going? With this lot, I reckon we're just about there. I reckon it must be 500 quid.
Hey, Para! 7 months? You better do better than that, mate.
You watch me, Stan. You watch me.
When this race was announced,
I was to captain the KLM entry. Me, Jan Mol. Now we change to the Douglas, but nevertheless, who pioneered the route from the East Indies to Australia? Not Koene Parmentier.
Yes, that's enough, Mol.
With the utmost respect, Doctor, I wish merely to register my protest.
Which you have done. Now we continue. I pay you very well to fly where and when I say. From the KLM point of view, you two are the perfect team. Those are my orders.
Jan. Of course you are upset, but... Well, I didn't think...
We have our orders, Parmentier. All that remains is to do our duty.
Damn it, Clyde, I don't believe it. Deeply regret, huh? Race rules prevent change of make or time. We've been fooling around here for how long? Now, close to a year, palavering back and forth, entry form and cable specified Douglas aircraft. This must stand. Signed Perrin, Royal Aero Club. Ha! Well, fool. It's a lot of horse manure.
Yeah, so what do we do?
British, what's their problem, Clyde? I mean, a man might start to think we ain't welcome in their little race, huh? I mean, don't they want American planes? Wait a minute. Wait just a darn minute.
Yes, but we are a bad risk. Oh, we'll just have to keep trying. Yes, all right. I'll see you tonight. Bye, Blake.
Mr. Scott, fancy you trying to buy an aeroplane when you owe me for the room. A man of your age, too.
Doris, I am a flyer, a knight of the air. I say, you could manage to do a few shirts for me, could you? Yes, pet. Pressy old suit. Please?
Newgate Hotel? Oh, Mr. Charles Scott. Oh, I don't know. I really don't.
Hello, Scott here. Oh. Oh, no, not at all. May I ask... I see. No, 3 o'clock would be most convenient. Yes. Goodbye. Doris, I must have a shirt. Must!
Oh, what happened? Who was it?
I won't beat about the bush, Mr. Scott. Neither will I pretend that I know a great deal about aircraft, or airmen for that matter. Hotels are my game. However, once I heard about the scope of the race, I must admit I was... it rather fired my enthusiasm.
Of course. Seems to have fired most people. There's enormous interest.
Exactly. You haven't entered yet, by the way?
No. Well, not as such, but...
Good. Because I have a plane. Or I will have one.
I see. A plane? What sort of plane?
A Comet. De Havilland's new plane. I can't imagine why, but I simply telephoned them. Told them that I'd read about the Comet, asked them if it could win the race, and if I could buy one.
Just like that.
So, I have a Comet.
The Mollison's staying here, Mr. Edwards.
Leaving today. I suppose, Scott, you're wondering why I didn't offer the plane to the Mollisons.
None of my business. I'm just delighted you've chosen me and Campbell Black.
Good.
This race was to build up international goodwill. But instead of helping American pilots enter their race, Why, they have done all they can to keep him out. Now, gentlemen, do you imagine that I, or any other American flyer, was entering this race for the money? Why, it would cost each of us up to $100,000 just for the privilege of competing for a prize worth half that sum. No, gentlemen, we were entering this race as sportsmen. And the Royal Aero Club of Great Britain ought to be big enough to acknowledge that fact.
Turner, would you say there's some kind of conspiracy involved here?
Conspiracy? Well, that's your word, sir. But I cannot satisfactorily replace it with another. Not offhand.
What would you say would be the motive behind this?
Well, I can think of only one thing, sir. Fear. The Limeys are afraid. Afraid of American zip, American get up and go, and American know-how.
And the New York Herald Tribune, gentlemen, actually uses the word conspiracy.
But which matters more, Perrin? The rules or the race itself? We risk becoming a laughing stock.
Yes, Perrin. Seems to me we might bend a little and include this Turner. Haven't we hampered the Americans enough already, man? There's no point in being overly legalistic.
I must say, that is a fair point.
Very well. Suppose now we accept Turner and the Boeing. Are we being absolutely fair to all the other competitors?
Oh, I think so. And Perrin, we have the Comet.
Not yet, we haven't.
Well, he owns a ruddy plane, of course. Cost him 5,000 quid, Campbell. Just rang up. Evening. He keeps the prize money, if any, and this perfectly awful gold cup.
And he wants to paint Grosvenor House on the nose?
Well, of course he does, man. Flying advert. I say, see the undercarriage on that girl?
What? Oh, yes. Look, what do you think? Are we in?
Oh, yes, we're in. We just have to find our own way of making it pay. Newspapers, adverts, Tom Campbell Black Ace Flyer drinks Cenopod tea. And all the ladies are simply mad about chaps who fly, you know.
Well, I hope so.
What's going on between you and Miss Desmond?
Oh, you know, not much so far.
You're in love, Campbell.
Yes.
Real thing?
Afraid so.
How nice.
Come in.
Oh, slope off, old man. Three's a crowd and all that. Scott.
Come in.
See you at Grosvenor House. Cheerio. Sit. You going my way?
Come in.
Oh, Campbell. Thought you were someone else.
Should I come back when you've...
God, no, sit down. Thought you were my boss, come to tick me off for being a naughty girl.
Oh?
I get the giggles sometimes. Can't help myself. And once I start, I just can't seem to stop. Anyway, you can't have seen it because you weren't in tonight.
Oh, you noticed?
Yes.
Actually, I've some news.
Would you mind awfully? Don't know where Queenie's got to. News?
Yes. Charles Scott and I are in the air race.
Oh, yes?
We've got a comet. It's rather exciting, don't you think?
I suppose so.
Well, I wanted to tell you before anyone else, as a matter of fact.
Thank you, Campbell.
I expect you have an engagement this evening.
No.
Oh. Well, would you care to go on somewhere with me?
Yes, all right.
I wish to retract the statement I made, gentlemen, and apologize to Commander Perrin and the Royal Aero Club. I was too hasty. You see, I really wanted to fly in this race, and I was bitterly disappointed at being excluded. Why, My whole experience of English flyers is that they are sportsmen in the highest degree. And this reversal of their decision to exclude me proves just that.
Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Pangborn?
Nope. It's like he said.
Well, good luck. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for coming by.
You mean any of that?
Well, some of it. Yeah, I got nothing against English flyers. Though I do take some pleasure in winning out over that damn Royal Aero Club.
I guess you do.
You guess I do.
So, how we doing on the financial front?
Well, kid, we got a ways to go yet. But now that that's settled, I'm gonna go see a man with 57 varieties. Good afternoon, ma'am. Colonel Roscoe Turner to see Mr. Hines. Is that gentleman in?
Yes.
Ah. His name's Gilmore. Colonel Roscoe Turner, Mr. Hines.
The Roscoe Turner, no doubt. And I see the equally famous Gilmore. Quite a calling card.
Well, it's very gracious of you, sir, to spare me a few moments of your time. Very well appointed office you have here, sir. It's funny, now, I wouldn't have figured this as the office of a man in soup and beans. Yes.
Won't you sit down? Colonel Turner.
Yes, sir?
You're in the show business, I believe.
I do a little work for Warner Brothers Motion Pictures because I have to, but I'm a flyer, sir. A flyer, first and last.
What connection can there be between my soup and beans and your air race?
Well, I figure that we tell the papers that...
You don't tell the papers. You show the papers.
Gotcha, Mr. Hines. Gotcha.
Tell me, Mr. Turner, does Gilmore eat beans?
Mr. Hines, my little lion will eat whatever you want him to eat.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise.
For me too, Campbell. Hello, Mr. Scott.
Miss Desmond. No, Campbell and I have sworn off all that until after the race. Haven't we, Campbell?
Oh, you are taking this seriously.
Well, you evidently are not, Miss Desmond.
Oh, yes, yes, I am. And everyone tells me it's awfully important for British aviation and all that, but I can't help feeling boys and your toys.
Lunch, everyone.
What really does concern me, Campbell, is that someone could get very badly hurt. May one ask what Scott is writing so busily?
His autobiography. He hasn't advanced from a publisher because of the race, of course.
Of course.
You don't like him, do you?
I don't dislike him. It's just that... Well, he's like an actor, playing himself. And he's always on.
Oh, no. No, that's hardly fair. He's a fine chap when you get to know him. I trust him with my life.
You will be.
I've given him my word. I'm with him all the way.
I see.
on, Camel. Come on, come on. Go, go, go.
Scotty, it's enough, huh? I'm dead beat on.
What?
It's only a game after all, huh?
Flab, Campbell, flab. Got to get it off, got to get fit, got to win, Campbell, got to win.
Why? We're in it.
Listen, Campbell. England, Australia, done it before.
I know.
Listen. Had the record broken in weeks by Mollison. Damn his eyes. People forget, Campbell, forget. Head waiters start looking the other way. One can't pay one's tailor, one can't get a plane. You have to tug the forelock to the Edwards of this world. You see? If you want Florence Desmond, then you win this race, no matter what she says. Ready?
Ready.
How about the maps?
I got the maps, most of them. I've been looking them over.
Jackie, over here.
And did you cable all those places? Baghdad, Allahabad, you know, my hot baths, my orange juice?
Yep, all taken care of.
Jackie, over here. Okay, that's it on the furs. Let's try the suit.
It's all costing a lot of dough.
Well, sure, I counted on that. Turn around, Wes.
Oh, Jackie, hot baths, fresh juice, it's all okay, but I'm still kind of worried about that plane.
Okay, Wes, quit.
Oh, come on, wait a minute, will you? Listen to what I gotta say.
Wes, I heard what you gotta say. I'm paying you to do a job. If you figure you're not up to it, okay, I'll get some other fellow.
Oh, come on, Jackie. You know I'd do anything for you.
Yeah? Here's something. Shut up. And pass me those shoes.
Oh, you only been flying a touch over a year, and already you want to set the world on fire. What's the rush?
Wesley, I just want to be somebody. Down in Florida, I didn't wear shoes or sleep in a proper bed till I was 8 years old. It's just dumb luck I turned out kind of pretty.
And look at you now. You are somebody. You're Jacqueline Cochran.
Yeah, the lucky strike girl.
Come on, sweetheart, let's go.
And who is Jacqueline Cochran? It's a name I picked out of the telephone book one day down in Pensacola.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the first of the aircraft, which we are confident will win the forthcoming air race to Australia.
I christen this plane the first de Havilland Comet off the line, Grosvenor House. Godspeed her, and God bless those who fly her.
God better bless us, not finished yet. Race just over 2 weeks off.
Charles?
Amy?
Campbell?
Amy.
Cutting things a bit fine.
I'll say. And what about yours?
A day or so, they say. But they can't have tested it yet. What do you think of the design?
Oh, she'll go fast, all right. But my God, they could have given us a bit more room.
Why waste space on us when they can cram in more fuel?
Yes, 300 gallons. Near enough, most of it in the nose.
Yes, one wouldn't want to mess up a takeoff.
No.
Charlie! Campbell.
Was.
Great publicity for Grosvenor House, Charlie. How did you manage that?
Ask Edwards, Mollison. I should imagine he wanted someone reliable.
Scott, Mr. Campbell Black. They want a shot of the pilots in front of the plane.
Yes, of course.
£200. I knew there had to be a catch.
It's supposed to be brand new.
The engine is. She hasn't been flown for 6 years, that's all.
Oh, you beauty.
Well, good luck.
Thanks for your help.
If there's anything further I can do... Goodbye, Hemsworth. Good luck.
Now, Jeff, I don't want you to worry about this. It's just like the last time. Come on, mate. We'll find a way, huh?
damn fool thing a girl's gotta wear. You got a cigarette? Well, since you're in that monkey suit, I guess you didn't forget that we have a farewell party tonight. I guess you just forgot to come.
Well, I just been looking at the maps again, Jackie.
Uh-huh. Light? So?
Well, I'm scared. Not for myself, but I ain't a young fella anymore. I'm just scared I'm gonna let you down, Jackie.
You picked a swell time to tell me, Wes. The plane's underway. We go in the morning. Let me down. You're doing that now.
Well, I want you to win, Jackie, more than anything.
We agree on that, then. Now, I had you pegged for the finest navigator in the country.
But I was never in these places.
A map's a map. A compass is a compass. You can cut the mustard or you can't. I am counting on you, Wesley Smith. You pull yourself together. Get up.
No. Anyone can fly that GB. It's you.
That's right. Let's go.
Another thing I'm afraid of is your New York friends.
Ah, you just fake it, boy. I can, you can. Where do you meet the English?
Due for 3 days yet.
G'day.
I'm sorry, but you can't land here. This aerodrome's closed.
But this is Mildenhall, isn't it?
It is, and reserved for competitors in the McRobertson Air Race.
Well, that's all right. I am a competitor. Melrose. James Melrose?
Melrose? From Australia? You just arrived from Australia?
Yes. Are you blokes in charge? Because I'd like my logbook verified, if that's all right. I'm pretty sure I've just beaten the Australia-England record. I'm sorry I'm early, but there wasn't much point in stopping. Am I the first one here?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Well, how about that?
8 days and 9 hours, sir. He's right.
Congratulations, young man. Well
Thanks.
done.
Any chance of a cup of tea?
Could do with a bit more headroom, old man. Very cramped.
How are your feet?
Feet?
Yeah, mine are freezing. Gone numb.
Built for speed alone, old man. You take it for a bit, Campbell?
Right.
Looks in better nick than ours, right?
Yeah, she sure does. Come on.
G'day. How you doing?
Jack Bones, this is Harry Gilman. You'd have to be...
Ray Parrott. Yeah, Jeff Hemsworth.
Jim.
G'day.
Oi, excuse me, Sonny, Jim, don't play with that. Think I've never seen a plane before. You blokes are over at Croydon, aren't you, with another one of these?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how's yours coming along?
Pretty good.
Tell you the truth, we were sold a pup. Yeah? Are you going to make the deadline?
Oh, that's why we're here. Just to get an extension.
Hey, there's one of the Comets. Scott and Campbell Black.
Now that's a plane, Ray.
Of course it's a plane.
Mr. Perrin, Mr. Hemsworth. We grant extensions to one, then we must grant them to all.
Yeah, but who else is asking?
Well, no one, but...
Look, all we want is a fair go, Commander.
I say, has anyone seen Stack? All right. All right, if that's the way you want it. I reckon that me and Hemsworth got no other choice but to withdraw.
No, we don't want that. We can't afford to lose any more competitors. Let's say midday tomorrow, then that's the best I can do.
2 o'clock.
Midday, Mr. Perrin.
Your blood's worth bottling. We'll see you then. Come on.
Commander Perrin.
What did he say?
First impressions, Mr. Scott.
Well, Mr. Campbell Black and I are absolutely delighted with the aircraft. A truly superb bit of engineering.
A very fast landing, sir. No problems with that.
None at all. She handles, well, like a dream.
Stick with me, mate. Told you we'd be right. It's just like
The last time. Ray, I think we've heard enough about the last time.
Do you reckon you can drive?
Why, you all right?
Yeah, it's just the English weather, huh? Hot 1 minute, cold the next.
Struth.
Come on, mate. I got a lot to do.
Yeah, all right.
It's plain, Jan. There are no surprises,
Why should there be?
Jan, we have a long way to go and each must rely on the other. So, come on, man, what do you say?
Again, very smooth, gentlemen. One feels absolutely safe. May I ask what happens now that we're here?
The aircraft must be inspected to ensure that all is in accord with the specifications made in the official entry.
But of course it will be.
Naturally.
Is that woman coming to our cockpit the whole voyage?
Oh, she's just doing her job, Jan. She has to collect material for a magazine.
German Flight Illustrated. My heavens.
All the same. Dr. Plesman's orders are that we are to give her our full cooperation.
You'll need to taxi down the other end for checking and inspection.
Right you are.
How do you find her?
What?
The Falcon.
Oh, champion. Only had her a week.
I saw your advertisement in the newspaper for a paying passenger. And, well, you see, my sister's getting married in Australia, and I thought, well, I hope I'm not too late. Am I too late?
No. Do you fly, Miss...
Lay, Miss E.M. Lay. No, I don't. But I do want to, Mr. Brooke. I want to very much. And you fly, don't you?
Oh, I do. But, you see, I hoped... I did say navigator in my advertisement.
I can read a map, Mr. Brooke. Is there someone else?
Well, no.
It's lucky I came all the way up here then, isn't it? I've got the money.
Well, I don't know. Australia's a very long way away, you realise.
I do.
And it's quite a small plane.
Mr. Brooke, I don't want to be rude, but I suppose you must need the money. Else why would you have advertised?
Aye.
Oh, good. I don't suppose... Could you introduce me to Amy Johnson?
Jim, let me try. No. It's like yesterday. You're flaring too early. You've got to keep your airspeed up before you flare, otherwise you'll drop a wing.
Oh, shut up!
What exactly was the problem with the landing, Mr. Mollison?
There's no problem. There are a few kinks. We're simply ironing them out, that's all.
Scott and Campbell Black brought their comet in first time.
Yes, well, one swallow doesn't make a summer. Frankly, I couldn't care less. Can I get down, please?
Mr. Scott and Mr. Campbell Black took delivery of their plane before us. We do still need practice, which is what I'd like to do right now. So if you'd stand back.
Not now, Amy.
I want to practice, Jim. Especially landing, if you don't mind.
I do mind.
I paid for half bloody plane, Jim Mollison. I shall do as I please.
Hey, I'm doing okay for my first time, aren't I?
You're doing great, honey. Only in a minute you gotta land this thing. This Milton Hall's just below.
Nothing to it. Let's put this baby down. Well, there you are. Still in one piece.
Yeah, used every bit of runway there was. Landing gear took one hell of a whack. Slobby. It's okay. You can fly this thing, Jackie.
Hey, like you tell me, Wes, I can fly any old thing. Wonder how old Granville lands her.
Like you. Too hard, too fast, using about half the state of Massachusetts.
Well, that's it, Jeff, huh? Finished. Told you we'd make it.
We spent so much time working on the plane, Ray. We haven't done any training, mate.
Training? Oh, I thought I'd leave the training to you. You're much better at that sort of
Ray?
thing than me.
Oh, you all right, mate? Oh, no. Well, go get a doctor, quick. Oh, God, Ray. Well, this happened last time, mate?
Well, you're a real guy, Jeff. Oh. No, it's just a touch of malaria, mate. I thought if I ignored it, it'd go away.
Warner Brothers Comet. Bit of a cheek.
Americans, old boy. Now, they really understand publicity.
What does he think this is, a bloody musical comedy?
I don't know, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Colonel Tanner.
Yes, sir.
Commander Perrin. Welcome to Milden Hall.
Well, it's a great pleasure to make your acquaintance at last, sir. After our somewhat heated correspondence.
Yes, well, you were forthright in the expressions of your views, Colonel. But, that is the American way.
Indeed it is, sir. Indeed it is.
Now, Colonel, would you come this way, please?
Mm-hmm.
I find I now have to raise another small matter, Colonel.
Yes?
Your race number is 5, but you also have that 57 on your nose.
Yes, sir?
Well, this could cause confusion. I'm sorry. I must ask you to remove it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must decline. You see, that stands for 57 varieties of canned product. And Mr. Hines has paid me, well, a great deal of money to have it there.
Apart from anything else, it's the most blatant advertising.
Well, I guess it is. Just like, let me see, say, Grosvenor House on the nose of one of those comets. Yeah, I read about that somewhere. Oh, would you mind, sir?
Hi there. Well, how does it go on?
Oh, the song. Oh, that's all I remember. It's just a song we used to sing at school.
That long ago, huh? It's Pussmoth. I'm Jackie Cochran.
James Melrose. How do you do?
Melrose, sure.
I saw you bringing her in. She looked quite a handful.
She is. It's gonna be interesting. My Hildegard, that's cute. What is that? I guess that's your sweetheart?
Oh, no, my mother, actually.
Oh. I'm sorry, Mr. Melrose.
You see, she's been such an enormous help to me with flying that I thought, well, it's just a way of saying thanks. She's been behind me every step of the way.
Well, that's nice. But I guess she also worries about you.
I guess she does. Well, I expect your parents, Miss Cochran.
I don't have any parents, Mr. Melrose.
Oh. Gosh, that's too bad.
It's a long time ago.
Well, now this would have to be Miss Jacqueline Cochran.
And you'd have to be a Colonel Roscoe Turner, and that must be Mr. Clive Pangborn.
Miss Cochran, Mr. Pangborn and I were just about to go sample some English beer. Does that interest you?
Well, it surely does.
What about you, Mr.
Melrose? No, thanks, I don't.
Well, Clyde here was set for a GB, but I talked him out of it, Miss Cochran. Well, here's mud in your eye.
Down the hatch.
guess they must like it. Perhaps you'd like something a little stronger after your landing this afternoon, Miss Cochran.
Now, you flew a GB yourself last year in that Bendix cross-country race, Turner. You flew a GB and you won in the damn thing.
Oh, sure, that's a fast plane. But never again. You know, I get kind of uneasy when I see a pretty little thing like you risking life and limb, a very charming limb from what I've so far observed, in an aircraft which has little but speed to recommend it.
Well, I am so touched by your concern, sir. You wouldn't happen to come from the South, would you?
Mississippi?
Well, I'm from Florida. So don't waste that corn pone on me, boy.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess we got each other's number, Miss Cochran.
We have it, that. Goodbye, Turner.
Yeah, goodbye. Oh, have a beer.
What'd you get onto them?
Yes, mate, we're out.
What do you mean, out?
Perrin says, sorry, no more extensions. If we don't get there by the Savo, we're scratched. That's bad luck, eh?
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
What are you doing?
Here, take these.
They reckon you should be lying down.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of time for that. When you're dead. Grab that, Quinine.
Ray, you're sick.
I've been a lot worse.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, well, nobody's come up with a better one. Now, Jeff, I don't want you to muck me about, because we haven't got the time. Come on.
You made it.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Ray?
I'm fine.
You sure?
Well, I need some fresh air, Jack.
Yes? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the royal party has just passed through the main gate. Well, move!
Mr. Parra, may one ask, what is that tube hanging from under the driver's seat?
Jeff? Your Majesty, when you've been flying for quite a while, it's difficult to...
Thank you. One wondered how you chaps managed.
Your Majesty's Mr. and Mrs.
No, Perrin. Mollison, of course. Everybody knows Amy. Wonderful Amy, eh?
Your Majesty.
Sir. Colonel Roscoe Turner of California, sir, and his co-pilot, Mr. Pangborn.
Hi, King. Say, Your Highness, I sure would like you to see the inside of our craft. Would you care to climb aboard?
Colonel Turner, most kind, but,
Oh, sure, I would enjoy to show you over the old bus. Oh.
Colonel, I hope you won't think me rude, but I'm not familiar with your uniform. Colonel in what exactly?
Well, sir, it's kind of an honorary title, you see. To be quite honest with you, I'm a colonel in the Nevada Air Force.
Nevada?
Uh-huh.
See, Nevada has an Air Force?
No, sir.
Oh, quite, yes. One is obliged to dress up at times in one's own profession also. One quite understands.
On this, the eve of the McRobertson International Air Race, I should like to read to the competitors a personal message from Sir Macpherson Robertson in Melbourne, Australia. The magnificent response by leading airmen of the world will make this the greatest race in the history of aviation. The attempt to reach Melbourne from London in something like 3 days will call forth in the highest degree the skill, resourcefulness, and endurance of pilots and the ingenuity and faithfulness of their aircraft. I express the feeling of all Australians in wishing you a safe and speedy flight to Melbourne, where a warm and hearty welcome awaits you. Thank you.
My gosh, the interest in this race is extraordinary. The chaps are like film stars.
Afraid so. Gets a bit wearing.
Oh, there's Jane and Algie. I'll just pop across and say hello.
Of course, darling, we'll be here.
You're not affected at all, are you, Campbell? Exactly the same chap as before all this madness.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's the planes which excite the interest. It could be anyone flying them.
I don't think so.
Love is the sweetest thing. What else on earth could ever bring?
Well, if you two will excuse me, I'll go.
As love does for me. Whatever hearts may desire, whatever life may send, this is a tale that never will tire. This is the song without end. Love is the strongest thing, the oldest, yet the latest thing. I only hope that fate will bring love's story to you.
I hear this trophy is worth over 600 pounds.
Yes. I must say your Boeing is most impressive, Colonel.
Well, thank you, Mr. Scott. The Comet is very pretty. Very pretty. Parmentier. How are you finding the Douglas, huh?
Very reliable.
Fast?
Oh, fast enough. Not fast enough for you, however.
Well, my guess is that whether it's you or me doing the flying, it's going to be an American plane first across the line.
Well, you're remarkably confident, Colonel. Perhaps it would be best, Colonel Turner, if we see this race as a contest between men. And women, of course. Yes, well, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen.
Sure.
Excuse me. May I have this dance, Miss Cochrane?
I would be delighted, Mr. Melrose.
Amy?
Oh, Charles.
How are you feeling?
Oh, how I always feel before a big flight.
Oh. Bit tense, eh?
Scared stiff.
Me too. I just wish we'd had more time with those comets.
We'd still feel the same if we had.
Yes. You got me into this, you know.
Me?
Yes. When I first met you in Australia in '30, you just made your astonishing flight, and the Australians were quite mad about you. I don't know, I thought, well, that looks rather more fun than puddling around in Queensland, so off I went. 31, England, Australia, back again. You know, I can't do anything else now.
It's funny. When I first started, I didn't think anyone would notice. It was just something I wanted to do. Something I loved.
Amy, may I say something? You're the best of us.
Good night, Charles.
Evening, Mollison.
Charlie. Oh, this is, Jennifer. Jennifer, say good evening to Mr. Charles Scott.
Good evening, Mr. Scott.
Sit down, Charlie. Have a drink. Oh, you don't, do you? Nor indeed your abstemious co-pilot. He dances very well, I must say.
Yes. Talking of co-pilots, Jim, what about yours?
Probably out of the planes. She prefers planes to people, I think.
Some people, perhaps.
Oh, sarcasm. How do we feel about tomorrow's race? Flying off to pseudo-glory in the morning, yet again?
Yeah, well, I'd appreciate it if you stay out of my way this time.
Charles, I shall be so far ahead of you that the question simply will not arise.
We shall see, won't we?
We shall. Jennifer, you may speak. We're simply two superannuated dinosaurs having their last hurrah.
Excuse me. I simply must...
Powder your nose, of course.
Jennifer, is it? Do you know, I'm surprised you can even remember her name.
Yeah. Don't usually ask their names.
What about your wife?
Let's leave her out of this, shall we? Are you in love with her too, like half the world?
My God, Mollison, you're a swine. You don't deserve her.
Who could, Charlie? Who could?
I should go, Campbell. I'm sorry, but I really do need to get back.
I understand.
I have a rehearsal first thing. Songs for the new show.
So you won't come back for the start of the race?
I'd rather not.
Yes?
Look, you must know I love you.
Known for ages. I love you too, actually. Wish I didn't.
Oh, Desi, would you marry me?
I'm scared. I'm used to being alone. I have a career and... Oh, gosh, I must sound so terribly selfish. But... You see... This is a very bad time to be discussing this. Campbell... I'll tell you when you get back. All right?
All right. I have to get there before I can come back, of course.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that, you awful man.
The total distance is 11,300 miles, passing over 19 countries and 7 seas. Now, to run through this again. Baghdad, Allahabad, Singapore, Darwin, Charleville are compulsory checkpoints for all competitors. Time spent on the ground at compulsory checkpoints is not included. Those in the speed section will, of course, be competing for first across the line in the shortest possible time. Those in the handicap section will, I imagine, be making more use of the optional checkpoints at Aleppo, Karachi, Batavia, and so on. I realize you know all this. You've thought of nothing else for weeks, some of you for months. But may I simply say, despite the difficulties and differences we may have had, how much I admire you all. Good luck.
Good morning, Mr. Brooke.
Oh, Miss Lay, you made it then.
Of course. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Ah, well, not now you've paid your fare, at any rate.
How did they get hold of this?
No idea. Isn't it true?
No.
Would Desi be upset, do you think?
Of course she will, old man.
Well, it's a good thing we're going away then, isn't it?